everyone, welcome back to Checkpoint, and for the season opener of the show, I've got my hands on something super special to me, a 2018 Ford Focus RS. With a few extra bits to make it go a little bit faster, look a little bit better, but we'll get to those in a moment. The Ford Focus RS is very much a dream car of sorts for me, and it's not the same kind of dream car that an Aventador or a 67 Shelby GT500 is a dream car, but I legitimately dream about owning this kind of car. It's something that I want in my life. So what is it about the Focus RS that is so special to me? Well, I think part of it starts with the fact that it's so exclusive. Now, the Focus RS has been available overseas for quite some time.
The first Focus RS appeared in 2002, though they only made them for 1 year and about 4,500 models. But then they started making more, again in 2009, but still not available in the US.
But unfortunately, we only got 3 years of the Focus RS, starting with the 2016 and ending with the 2018, with only a limited number of models going to different countries. Another thing that makes this car special to me is what makes a lot of hot hatchbacks special to me. I really enjoy the looks of the body shape. I mean, when you've got all this volume, this mass hanging over the rear wheels, it gives it a really sturdy look, like it's got momentum standing still. Even if most hot hatches end up being front wheel drive, I really enjoy having that full shape. And then the drop off at the end with the hatch, it's dramatic. I really enjoy it. So before we were able to get our hands on the Focus RS here, we were stuck with the ST as the highest model. Now, it's not a bad car by any means, but the differences are definitely noticeable. For the ST, you're going to be forced to have front-wheel drive, whereas in the RS, there is a torque vectoring all-wheel drive system. From the factory, the ST is making 250 horsepower at the crank. This is going to be making 350 horsepower at the crank. Now, you are going to lose a decent amount of power due to that all-wheel drive system, but there are a few fixes in this car in particular that can get you right back up. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Making those 350 horses from the factory is Ford's 2.3-liter EcoBoost turbocharged 4-cylinder engine.
The same engine, in fact, found in the 4-cylinder Mustangs, but with a more aggressive tune.
Now, this is a huge reason I'm a fan of turbocharging. I mean, you're talking about an engine that's displacement is over a full liter less than my 370Z, but makes 20 more horsepower at the crank. And it definitely does a great job at torque, because that's something the Z lacks a little bit, but you feel it in this car, and you've got the all-wheel drive system to help you use it efficiently. And there's a point I want to make. I think being a car enthusiast in the digital age spoils us. I mean, you can look up any page where guys are bragging about their 600, 700 horsepower Mustang, their 800, 900 horsepower Supra, their 1500 horsepower GTR, and it spoils you. It sort of tilts the scales. I mean, my first car was the Miata, and I was making 100 horsepower, and that was a lot of fun. And then when I stepped up to my Z, which is making about 300 at the wheels, I was super thrilled with the power. It's satisfying. You know, there's a disconnect between seeing these numbers on paper and getting to drive the car. So when you hear 350 horsepower, let me tell you, it's plenty quick and really fun to drive. But of course, this is not an ordinary Focus RS. There are a few things on here that I am a huge fan of. First off, it's got 90% of all the bolt-on goodies you would like. We've got an intercooler, an intake, and exhaust by ETS, and we've got a Stage 2 rear motor mount by CPE. The exhaust on this sounds great. I mean, the Focus RS will pop a little bit from the factory, but I mean, we were cruising in lower whacker, and it's every time there's a good upshift, there's pops, and I mean, how do you not have a smile painted across your face while driving this car? We've also got the Cobb Accessport. We've got a lot of very cool readouts over here. And And there's a custom tune on the car, so you can either run it on 93 octane fuel, or there's also a tune for E30 fuel. Now, if you're like me and you'd only heard of E85 before this, E30 is essentially a precise mix of 93 or high octane gasoline and E85. It's definitely a lot of work. If you have a gas station near you that's consistent, you can be pretty sure in the different measurements you have to use to put in the car, but if you're traveling or you're going to a different gas station, there's a testing process you have to go through to make sure that the mixture is correct. So how big a difference does the tune make? Holy crap, a big one. Oh, this car is fast. I mean, you are definitely making that power to the wheels, and the all-wheel drive system, it'll hook you. There's no turbo lag. I mean, you're talking about a relatively small diameter turbo, so boost comes on at 2.5, 3,000 RPM. There's just a lot of power when you want. Now, this car has not been dynoed, but it's a good estimate that while stock, it was making probably 270-ish to the wheels. Another 100 horsepower has been added by that E30 tune. And there are plans for this car to go full E85, so we'll have to do a revisit around that time.
Oh, and did I mention that the Cobb Accessport provides this thing with instant launch control access? Now, while breather mods and a tune are going to get you all of that sweet, sweet horsepower, I think my favorite change to this car actually has to do with the wheels. These Titan 7 wheels are an inch shorter in diameter and 10 pounds lighter than the wheels that came stock on this car. That's going to let the car adapt to changes in road conditions much quicker and is going to see a boost in the acceleration.
Steering response is really good. I mean, I've got very direct throttle response. I can feel exactly where the wheels are going. It's definitely a car you feel a part of. It's a driver's car, no doubt. And now I think for probably the most controversial modification of this car, it is on air suspension, which I love. I want to get that out of the way up front. I think modularity is something that I've really enjoyed in the tech world, and I love seeing it being applied to the automotive scene. So the idea of being able to raise your car up for daily driving or slam it if you're parked, I'm a big fan of that. I mean, I've said it I don't know how many times during this shoot. I am so jealous of Derek. This car is incredible. Not only is the base car just such an interesting and rare vehicle, but the mods to it are tasteful. They make it quicker, and it's only going to get faster from here. I wish I didn't have to hand the keys back, and hopefully one day I can get a pair of my own.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked what you saw, be sure to let me know by hitting the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more of this awesome kind of content in front of your face. A huge thank you again to Derek. He's at rated.rs on Instagram. He's the one who let me drive his baby. There are tons of details that I didn't quite get to in the video, so be sure to give him a follow so you can see everything involved with his build. Let him know if I say hi in the comments. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.